Your baby is screaming and you've tried everything. Fed them, changed them, checked for gas. Nothing works. But here's what most parents don't realize. Your baby was telling you what they needed 20 minutes ago. You just missed the signal. And I'm not talking about crying. I'm talking about the subtle cues that happen before the meltdown, the ones pediatricians learn to spot, but somehow forget to teach parents. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you 10 signals your baby uses every single day to communicate exactly what they need. And when you learn to read these, everything changes. Less guessing, less frustration, more connection. Let me ask you something. How many times this week have you felt completely confused by your baby's needs? You're standing there holding them and you can't figure out if they're tired, hungry, overstimulated, or just done with everything. And here's what kills me. Your baby has been trying to tell you the whole time. They just don't have words yet, but they have a language, a very specific language built into their nervous system. And once you learn to read it, you'll wonder how you ever missed it. Now, before we dive into the signals, I need you to understand something crucial. These aren't random behaviors. Every single one is rooted in how your baby's brain and body are wired to communicate distress, comfort, or needs before they escalate to crying. Crying is actually the last resort. It's the alarm bell that goes off when everything else failed. So when you catch these earlier signals, you're not just preventing meltdowns. You're teaching your baby that the world responds to their needs, that they're understood, that communication works, and that foundation, that shapes everything about how they learn to express themselves for the rest of their lives. Signal number one, the glassy, distant stare. You're playing with your baby, and suddenly they're looking right through you. Their eyes are open, but there's nobody home. This isn't daydreaming. This is your baby's nervous system saying, I'm maxed out, I need a break. Here's what's happening neurologically. When babies get overstimulated, their prefrontal cortex essentially goes offline. They dissociate slightly to protect themselves from sensory overload. Researchers studying infant stress responses found this glazed look appears consistently right before babies either shut down completely or spiral into crying. So when you see it, pause everything. Lower the lights, reduce noise, hold them close without bouncing or talking, give their system time to reset. Most babies recover within 2 to 3 minutes when you catch this signal early. Signal number two, sudden fist clenching. Your baby's hands go from relaxed and open to tight little balls. And here's what pediatricians know that most parents don't. Fist clenching is one of the earliest hunger cues, showing up even before rooting or sucking motions. But it's also a tension signal. So, how do you tell the difference? Timing matters. If it's been more than 2 hours since their last feed, it's probably hunger. If they just ate, it's tension or discomfort. Watch what happens when you offer a finger to their palm. A hungry baby will grip and pull toward their mouth. A tense baby will clench tighter or push away. That distinction tells you whether to feed or soothe. Signal number three, jerky arm and leg movements. This one surprises parents because it looks like excitement, and sometimes it is. But here's the difference. Excited movement is smooth, coordinated, rhythmic. Distressed movement is jagged, uncoordinated, almost frantic. Developmental researchers studying infant motor patterns found that jerky movements spike right before babies enter a distressed state. It's their way of saying, something in my body doesn't feel right. Could be gas, could be an uncomfortable position, could be a tag on their clothing, scratching their skin. Check the obvious things first. Then try gentle leg bicycles if you suspect gas, or shift their position if they've been in the same spot too long. Signal number four, arching the back away from you. When babies arch backward while you're holding them, the instinct is to think they don't want to be held. But that's rarely what's actually happening. Back arching is usually a discomfort signal. Something hurts and they're trying to stretch away from it. In young babies, especially under 3 months, this often signals reflux or gas pain. The arching temporarily relieves pressure on their stomach. If you're seeing this consistently after feeds, talk to your pediatrician about reflux. But sometimes it's simpler. They're too warm, their diaper is wet, or the way you're holding them is putting pressure somewhere uncomfortable. Try adjusting your hold, try cooler clothing, check the basics. Their body is telling you something specific. Signal number 5, turning the head away sharply. Your baby is looking at you, then suddenly whips their head to the side. This isn't rejection, even though it feels like it. This is self regulation. Studies on infant gaze patterns show babies instinctively break eye contact when they need to process what they've just taken in. Think about it like this: direct eye contact is intensely stimulating for babies. Your face, your expressions, your voice, all of it floods their developing brain with information. And sometimes they need a cognitive break to integrate it all. So when they turn away, just pause, stay present, but give them space. They'll turn back when they're ready, usually within 10 to 20 seconds. And when they do, that reconnection reinforces their trust that you'll respect their needs. Signal number 6, rooting and mouthing everything. Babies put everything in their mouths. We all know this. But here's what most parents miss: the intensity and urgency changes based on what they need. Calm, exploratory mouthing, that's learning. They're gathering sensory information about texture, taste, temperature. But frantic rooting, turning their head side to side, searching for something to suck, that's an early hunger cue. If you catch it here, feeding goes smoothly. If you miss it and wait until they're crying, feeding becomes harder because their nervous system is already activated. So watch for the shift from curious mouthing to desperate searching. That shift tells you feeding time is now, not in 10 minutes. Signal number 7, the hiccup cry. This is the one signal that changes everything once you recognize it. You know that sound where your baby takes a breath that catches almost like a hiccup right before they start crying? That's not the beginning of crying. That's the warning shot. It's your baby's nervous system ramping up to full distress. Neuroscience research on infant stress response shows that hiccup breath marks the transition point. Before it, babies can still regulate with support. After it, they're already escalating. So the moment you hear that catching breath, act immediately. Pick them up if they're down, hold them close, start gentle swaying or humming. Your calm presence can still interrupt the spiral, but you've got maybe 10 seconds before the full meltdown hits. Signal number 8, rubbing eyes or pulling ears. Everyone knows eye rubbing means tired, but ear pulling confuses parents. Is it tiredness? Is it an ear infection? Here's how to tell. Tired ear pulling is rhythmic, almost soothing. They're using it to self regulate, similar to how some babies twirl their hair. Infection ear pulling is urgent, frustrated, often with fussiness or fever. The key difference is their overall state. A tired baby pulling their ears will also have that glazed stare we talked about earlier, maybe some yawning. Their body is giving you multiple tired signals at once. An uncomfortable baby will be irritable, possibly refusing feeds, possibly warm to touch. Context matters. Look at the whole picture, not just one signal. Signal number 9, going completely still. This one scares parents when they first notice it because it seems wrong. Your baby was fussy, you walked away for just a minute, and now they're silent and still. And your first thought is, oh, good, they calmed down. But developmental research shows something different. When babies stop crying without receiving comfort, it's not self soothing, it's shut down. Their nervous system essentially gives up trying to communicate. This doesn't mean you've damaged them if it happened once. But if it becomes a pattern, if your baby regularly goes from distress to silence without help, they're learning that their signals don't work. They stop trying. So the takeaway here is respond before shutdown, catch the earlier signals. And if you do find them in that frozen state, approach gently, offer comfort, Rebuild their trust that communication brings connection. Signal number 10, sudden changes in skin color. This is the signal pediatricians watch most carefully and parents often overlook. Pale skin or blotchy red patches can indicate circulation changes or temperature regulation issues. A baby who suddenly looks paler, especially around the mouth, might be getting cold or experiencing a blood sugar drop if it's been too long between feeds. Mottled, blotchy skin, particularly on the legs and arms, can mean they're overheating or their nervous system is stressed. Bright red cheeks often signal overheating, though it can also just mean teething. The key is sudden change. If your baby's coloring shifts noticeably from what's normal for them, check their temperature, check when they last ate, adjust their clothing. Their body is communicating through color what their mouth can't say yet. Now, here's what I need you to understand. You're not going to catch every signal every time. You're going to miss cues. You're going to misread behaviors. You're going to look back and think, oh, that's what they needed. And that's completely normal because you're learning a new language. Your baby is learning to communicate and you're learning to understand. It's a two-way process built on repetition and trust. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is awareness. The goal is getting better at reading your specific baby's specific patterns over time. And here's something beautiful that happens when you start catching these signals earlier. Your baby cries less, not because you're controlling them, but because you're meeting their needs before they escalate to that last resort alarm. And when babies cry less, parents stress less. And when parents stress less, babies regulate better. It becomes this positive cycle where everyone's nervous system is working with each other instead of against each other. That's co regulation, that's secure attachment being built in real time through hundreds of tiny moments of you noticing and responding. So here's your challenge. For the next 3 days, just observe. Don't try to fix everything, just watch. Start noticing the patterns your baby shows before they cry. Do they always clench their fists when hungry? Do they rub their face when tired? Do they look away when they need space? Every baby has their own signature signals. The ones in this video are universal starting points, but your baby will have their own version. Your job is to become the expert on your specific baby's language. And you will, because you're paying attention, because you care enough to learn. That's what makes you exactly the parent your baby needs.